Hey guys! So for today's video I thought I would jump on here and do some sort of a Valentine's Day inspired look. So I did do a video last year for Valentine's Day, but that one was more kind of like a neutral pink soft glam kind of look. So this year I kind of wanted to do something a little different. I kind of want to add some more glam to it. I want to add some red lips and deeper eyes, and I just kind of want to make it a little more intimate. I will link my last year's video down below if you guys want to take a look at that, just to kind of get a different take on a Valentine's Day inspired look. But before I get started with this look, I just want to remind you guys, if you guys want to be a part of my YouTube family, just don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and just know that I appreciate you guys so much, and I appreciate all of the support so far. So diving right in, I'm going to start with some foundation, and I am going to use the MAC Studio Fix foundation in the shade NW13. So I love this foundation. If I am wanting my makeup to last all day, like if I'm working a double that day, I do have 3 jobs. So if I am going to go work at my 8 a.m. job and then finish at 4 and then go continuing on into the night till 9 p.m., I will use this guy right here, because this one I find lasts so long and my makeup literally looks flawless all day long. Like, it's no joke. Not to mention the coverage on this is really good. It's almost like a medium to full coverage. So if you want that coverage and you want your makeup to last, I highly recommend trying this one out if you haven't. So I'm just going to empty some out onto my makeup brush. And this brush is the Sigma Curved Kabuki F83 brush. I really like this brush to first initially put on my layer of foundation, and then I like to go in with some sort of a beauty sponge to continue to blend it in. I just kind of find putting it on with a bigger brush first just kind of quickly disperses the product on my face and half blends it in. So I just put a little bit on my InStylish sponge, and if you guys want to try something out from this brand called InStylish, if you want to order their beauty sponges, I mentioned before that I got this duo in a package and I absolutely love them. I kind of almost love this more than the Real Techniques one. Actually, I use this almost every day, and this one just got tossed to the side for the time being. But if you guys want to try out these sponges, I promise you they are amazing. Go to instylish.com and you can use the code Courtney for 10% off your first purchase. So I just put a little bit of foundation there, and I'm just going to apply a tiny little bit extra just to kind of make sure everything is pushed into my skin, because we all know there's nothing worse than when you apply foundation with a brush and then you happen to see those little bristle marks and nothing looks blended, and you can kind of see where you stroked everything on. So that is why I like to go in with a beauty sponge afterward. Okay, so now it's time for concealer, and I'm actually going to go in with the MAC Studio Fix 24 Hour Smooth Wear Concealer, and I have the shade NW22. So this concealer is so good if you're looking for a super smooth, hydrating concealer. This doesn't crease or bunch under my eyes, and my under eyes are quite, I guess, wrinkly, so to speak, because I do have really large lower eyelids because my eyeballs tend to bulge out of my head just a little more than normal people's. So I consider this one of the best concealers for that. I use it all the time, and I'm just buffing this in and pushing this into the skin with that same InStylish sponge that I use to apply my foundation with. And I'm just making sure all of this is pushed in nicely. So I am gonna go in and bake. You guys know that every time I do a look, I do like to bake under my eyes, just because for me, like I said, how my under eyes is a little bit more wrinkly. Baking really helps my concealer from creasing into the fine lines that I do have around my eyes. So one of my favorites, and it's actually a drugstore one, is the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Finishing Powder. This stuff is amazing. This is very fine milled, and I love it so much, and you cannot beat the price, and and I literally just get it at Walmart, and it's under $10. So I'm going to go in with the second sponge that came in the duo from the website InStylish. So this one is like the softer one. It's almost like a fiber sponge. So it is quite dirty because this is what I use for baking all the time, and who washes their brushes every single day? I know I don't. So I'm just going to go in with the smaller little contoured edge, and I'm just going to tap into the cover of this and apply a generous amount of powder under my eyes. And I like to bring some down on my chin, and I also like to put a little bit up on my forehead just to kind of balance out like the highlighted areas of my face, so not everything looks completely flat, even though I am going to go in with a little bit of bronzer in just a few minutes. So while that's kind of baking and doing its thing, I do like to go in with brows, and I like to use the ABH Dip Brow Pomade in the shade Taupe. This is like literally the perfect shade for my hair color, like my natural hair color, so I love using this so much, and there's not much left. Like I literally hit almost the whole bottom of the pot, so I do have to order a new one, but literally this has lasted me so long, and you only need a little bit. So I'm just using it with this Quo a liner brow brush. And if you guys don't know what Quo is, it's actually the Shoppers Drug Mart brand for their brushes. So I'm just gonna go in and start filling in my brows. It is so crazy to me that literally I have not started doing my brows probably until the last 2 years. Like, I'm not even kidding. I remember the very first brow product that I ever tried was a Milani tri-powder, like powder kit for your eyebrows, and literally that was my very first like step in like even caring about my brows. I mean, I did pluck them, but I've never ever filled them in. And some of my coworkers and my friends were always like, oh, once you start filling them in, you're never gonna go back. But I don't know, I just haven't seen like a reason to fill my brows in. I've never was attracted to filling my brows in. But literally, like they said, once I started and once I kind of knew how and what to do, I just found that they framed my face so much better, and it looks so much better when you have brows that are done, when you have a full face of makeup on. So yeah, that's like a little fun fact about me, is that I really didn't give a crap about my brows or even attempted to do anything up until about 2 years ago. And another thing about my brows is I never strive to have absolutely perfect brows. Like right now, I could definitely use some plucking. There's a bunch of sparse hairs under here. Like I could definitely pluck some between my eyebrows, and my eyebrows are definitely not the same length or like the same height. Like if you looked closely, you would definitely see a difference. But I don't really strive for absolutely perfect brows. Like I don't want them to look like they're completely fake or completely like groomed, like to the point where they don't look natural. So I like there to be like a little bit of imperfection somewhere that, you know, like they don't look like they don't belong on my face. So now that eyebrows are done, I'm just going to take a random brush. This one happens to be the Sigma Tapered Face F25 brush, and I'm just going to wipe away that bake, but you can use any brush that you have at all. Now I'm going to go in and do a little bit of bronzer or contouring, and I'm going to go in with this MAC Studio Fix Sculpt and Shape Contour Palette in the shade Light Medium. And this is how the front looks, and this is how the inside looks. So it does come with this little layover that kind of tells you what the shades are. And this is perfect for me because I like using almost all of these bottom shades, and I love to use this top one called Emphasize just to kind of brighten up my under eye a little bit. What I like to do is first go in with a smaller contour brush. This is the Sigma F05 brush, and I like to mix these last two, which is Sculpt and Bone Beige down here. So I'll literally like go in and do this, and if you want to, you can add a little bit of this one as well. This one's called Taupe. So I'll just go in and do all three and just kind of start in the hollow of my cheeks. And I like to put some on my forehead just to kind of balance everything out. And I like to go down my nose a little bit, so I like to just kind of brush it down my nose, and I like to just smooth it out with my beauty sponge that I've been using, just so that there's no harsh lines. And I'm going to go in with an even bigger brush just to kind of help buff that color out a little bit. And this one's the Morphe R2 brush. So again, I'm just going to mix all 3 shades here and just continue to blend this into my face. I am going to go into this lightest shade called Emphasize, and you can take any brush, but this is like a little mini Sigma Large Angled Contour F40 brush. You can use any brush to go under your eyes with, and I am going to dab into Emphasize and just sweep that under my eyes, because I find this really does help brighten up your under eyes a little bit, but you just have to be a little light-handed, because if you keep packing it on, it will look a little bit gray toned. But I just like to give a little bit of a sweep. Now that that's done, I'm gonna go in with some blush, a blush shade from MAC that I never thought that I would like or try on my own skin, but this is actually in the shade Coppertone. So I'm just gonna go in with a blush brush, and if you're wondering, it's another Sigma brush. This is the Sigma Powder Blush F10. I use this for blush literally every single day. So I'm going to swirl into this and just apply some on my cheeks. The reason why I like this shade so much, if I don't want to go super pinky and I want it to stay almost like a little bit more of a natural nudie kind of, I guess, look on my cheeks, I will go in with this one just because it doesn't give that super pinky look. And that's kind of the vibe that I'm going for today. And now I'm going to go in with eyes, and I'm actually going to use a older palette of mine that is still available, but this is actually one by Morphe. So this is the 35 OS, so it is an all shimmer shade palette. So this is how the inside of the palette looks here. As you can see, it's an all like a natural nude palette. You have some deep browns, you have some coppers, you have some highlighting colors and some peaches. It's a really, really, really good palette. And if anyone ever told you that you cannot do a whole look, including transition shades and whatnot, with an all shimmer palette or all shimmer shades, they are completely wrong. And I am here to show you how I do it and come up with a super easy glam look using this guy. So I'm going to be going in with my Morphe E23 brush for the first shade, and I am actually going to go in with this shade here. So none of them have shade names, I just kind of have to point and reference what shade I'm using. So again, it's this one right here, and I'm just going to dip into that with my brush and apply this shade in my crease. So I'm going to go into the exact same shade that I just went into. I'm going to use a smaller tapered blending brush, and this is the Sigma Small Tapered Blending E45 brush. So again, same shade, and I'm just going to add that to my bottom lid. So switching back to that first brush, I am going to go into this shade right here. So I'm going to dip into that, and I'm just going to deepen up the crease a little bit. And all of these blend so well. Like, as you can see, there's no fallout. I don't know if you can see on camera or not, but literally there is absolutely no fallout, and everything picks up on my brush well, even though that they are all really like creamy, almost shimmery shades. I love this palette. I use this almost every day along with my Jaclyn Hill palette. And again, I'm going to follow suit with the bottom lid. So I'm going to take that shade on that tapered brush and just add that to my bottom. So now I'm going to move over to this next shade right here. So again, with that larger brush, pop into that, and I'm going to add some of this again to the crease. This is a little bit darker than the last one that I used and a little bit more shimmerier. As you can see, these browns are so stunning. I love them so much. I love how these ones almost have like a mahogany kind of tone to them. Again, I'm going to take that same shade that we just used, and I'm going to put that on the bottom as well. So now I'm going to take it a step darker, and I'm going to go into the shade next to that one with, again, that small tapered brush. And I'm going to get some of that on my brush, and I am going to focus that almost in the mid to outer corners of my lid. And before I do anything else, I'm going to take that and put it on my bottom as well. So basically any kind of like shade that I put on my top, I do like to tie it into the bottom for the most part. I mean, sometimes I will use less shades in this and only stick to like 1 or 2 for the bottom, but I like to build the bottom up just as much as the top. And I'm just taking that bigger, fluffier brush and I'm just buffing out some of the harsh lines just to make sure there is none. So now I'm going to go into this top shade here. So it's the third one over, this one right there, and I'm actually going to take some on my finger. So I'm just going to swirl a little bit into that, and I'm going to start placing that on the inner towards the center of my lid. Just to kind of give it that nice bright pop of color and highlight to my eye. I'm going to actually go in with this one down here on top of that, just to help give it a little bit of, I guess, a peachy, less silver vibe on top. And I'm going to take that small taper brush and just kind of blend the darker shade just up where we met the lighter shade. I'm sticking with this little brush and I'm actually going to go into this bottom dark brown shade down here. So I'm going to pop into that. And I'm just going to add some to the very outer corners of my lids, just to kind of deepen up that outer bit. So as you can see, this is turning into like a super dramatic, kind of dark, smoky-ish eye. So now I'm going to take this E65 angle brush by Sigma, and I'm going to go into that exact same shade that I just went into, that dark bottom brown shade. I'm actually going to line my lids with this one and use that color as eyeliner. And I'm going to put some on my bottom lid, but I'm just going to bring it down a little bit, and I'm actually going to buff it out with this smaller brush. So now I'm going to go in with this top corner shade up here, and I'm just going to use this Morphe Y22 brush, and I'm just going to dunk into that and place some on my inner corner. I find this is like the perfect shade for inner corner and brow bone. It's like a nice bright, kind of like a shimmery off-white color. So now I'm just going to go into some mascara, and I'm going to be using the Maybelline Colossal Big Shot Mascara in the shade Black. I'm just going to put a thin coat of this on because I do want to go in with a pair of lashes. And I'm just going to put a little bit on the bottom lashes. Now I'm going to go with lashes, and I'm actually going to be using one of my favorite lashes of all time. So these are by the brand Ardell, and these are the wispies. I don't know if there's a difference between wispy or demi-wispy. They do say demi-wispy here in the package, but if they are demi-wispy, then that's the one that I like. So I love these. I find these give like the perfect shape to my eye. So they kind of get like larger and more like wispier and longer on the outer corners of my eye, and I find that's like the perfect shape of my eye shape. So I do love to wear these ones, so I'm going to try and put a pair of these on, and I will be right back. Okay, so lashes are on, and I think they're on there pretty good. I mean, this one could go over just a little bit more, but whatever. Now it's time for lips. So for the lips, I decided to go red and bold since it is Valentine's Day, and I kind of wanted to do like a glam, typical glam red look, smoky eye kind of look. So for the red lips, I decided to go with a color by Dose of Colors. So this one is actually called Date Night, and I actually got this in one of my BoxyCharm boxes, and I'm so glad I did because I've never tried Dose of Color liquid lipsticks before. It's so good, it's so matte, and it's so moussey, but it does not dry out my lips at all. So I'm actually going to be applying it with the applicator that's in here, but also I'm going to have help from a Morphe E35 brush just to kind of do the lines because I am not the steadiest of hand person. So I am just going to distribute a little bit first. Yeah, so you guys can see how rich this is in color. So now I'm just going to go in with this brush and just take a little bit off of the applicator and just paint this on. red lips are on, and as you can see, they're so red. They are like so velvety and matte, and I just love this lip product so much. I actually want to try other lip shades by them. Now it's time for highlight, just to kind of finish this look off. So I think I'm going to mix two highlighters. So the first one I'm going to go into is MAC Soft and Gentle. So this is what it looks like here. So I'm going to just dip into that with my regular Sigma High Cheekbone Highlighter F03 brush. And I'm just going to place this everywhere that I always put highlighter, which is pretty much all over my face. I like to add some on my nose and some on my chin and also above my eyebrows, just to kind of balance out like the sheen that's on my face. And to kind of top it off, I'm gonna go into MAC Double Gleam highlighter. So that's this one, same brush, just to give it a little bit of an extra shine. Okay, you guys, this is the finished look. I did add a little bit of glam, and I added this rhinestone choker necklace just to kind of give it a little bit of something extra, because this look is really extra. So yeah, I hope this look has helped you, inspire you to do some sort of a sultry kind of sexy glam look for Valentine's Day, or any event for that matter. But I hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, give it a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and if you want to see more videos by me, just hit that subscribe button. Again, I appreciate you all so much, and thank you all for becoming a part of my YouTube family so far, and I will be seeing you guys in my next video. Bye!